Okay, it's 1:44 a.m. Baby just went to sleep a little while ago. I had to pump before he went to bed. I also need to make some of the milk mixture for him. So he gets breast milk, but it's fortified to add calories so he can gain the weight he needs. The nurses and doctors keep a really close eye on his weight. They do everything in kilos. And so he needs to be 7 kilos before he can have his second surgery. So by getting the fortified milk, it's higher calorie and helps him gain the weight he needs so he can be healthy and be ready for surgery in a few months. This is what I do every day. Once or twice a day I'll make this mixture. This is a recipe that the nutritionist at the hospital gave me. 5 ounces of milk, 1 teaspoon of formula. We mix microlipids, which is basically just pure fat. Got my syringe, measured out, put that in. And then this mixture is good in the fridge for 24 hours. I'll go through this plus some in one day. When I need milk for his feeding pump, I just get a little bottle, and I got this cool bottle warmer, total necessity for our situation. We warm up the bottles and put it in his feeding tube so he can get food that way continuously. So we have this little thing that like connects to it. It's a measuring thing, but you do not leave the water in there. I did that the first time. Like, hey, why isn't it heating up? So put the water in there, and then it basically just steams it. So that is how we warm our bottles. One of the dilemmas I always have is, do I wash this stuff every single time? Sometimes I just don't feel like it. I don't want to have to clean it. I'll put the stuff in here. When that happens, it's like a couple of days later and I have tons of stuff to wash and tons of bottles. Or I could just wash it right away and be good, and that's nice, and then it's ready for next time. And our bottle's done. So it's always like a debate as to, okay, do I wash it right away so I can use it again right away, or do I keep it and then wash it when I need it? I hate doing dishes. It's like one of my least favorite chores. I just hate it. So this is something for me to be on top of this. And so now this milk is done, and before I can go to bed, I just need to put this in his feed pump because we're done in here. Okay, now I'm gonna be quiet and not talk, but I'm gonna refill his bag. There he is. So that'll last us about 3 hours. And then I'll have to wake up in 3 hours to refill that. Okay, so it's 5:40 a.m. and I got up to check on his feeding tube, and he needs a refill of his milk, so that's what I'm doing right now. After that, I can go back to bed for about an hour, and then I need to get up and start my day. So it's time for me to get up, and I have to weigh him. I have to give him some medications, take his vitals, and then I also need to take the boys to school. Yeah, but I bought a new pump for this because I knew that I'd probably be exclusively pumping for a while. And I pump every 3 hours. So I pump about 6 times a day. That's an hour and a half of my day that I just spend pumping. So I got them in my freezer bags, ready to go in the freezer. And I got the coolest gift from my brother and sister-in-law. Deep freezer. Because I need somewhere to save all my milk, and this is not even half of it. We have tons in the outside freezer that I haven't moved in yet. Also, fun fact about pumping, or I guess breastfeeding, you burn about 20 calories per ounce of milk that you produce. So that right there was 320 calories. So not so bad. Okay, here's our little buddy. Part of what we do is check his vitals. We have a pulse oximeter. The sensor is hooked up to his foot, and it will tell us his heart rate and his oxygen levels. And I record that 4 times a day. It's called spot checking. So glad I just changed that diaper 1 minute ago. That alarm goes off when it's above 86 because the doctors want him between 75 and 85 oxygen saturation level. If it's higher than that, his heart is working a little bit harder and his lungs are getting a little bit more blood than they should, which means more fluid, and that's just something we have to watch for. 86, 156 for heart rate. We need to take his weight. Oops, we also had poopy diaper, and we need to give him his meds. And today he's 3.58 kilos. That's good. The goal is to have him gain at least 3 grams a day. So he's gaining weight. It's good. This is how we organize little medication drawer. You get 3 medications in the morning and 2 at night. So his first morning medication is aspirin. It's a blood thinner and it helps his blood from clotting because he has a shunt in currently. It will be removed next surgery. Right now he has to be on blood thinners because he can develop a clot in the shunt. This helps his body get rid of extra fluid. And the next one is Digoxin. And this helps his heart to beat strongly and regularly since he only has his right side that works. And I always get really nervous about like putting too much or too little because they're very powerful medications. So I double check, triple check every single time I give them to him. This is my morning medicine regimen. This is his NG tube. We start with flushing it with water. Flush with like 1.5 mils of water. Shake up the aspirin, push that in. 0.3 of the Lasix, 0.25 of the Digoxin, and then finish with a little bit more water. Flush that out. And we can cap this. Now he's all set for his morning meds, and we can add that to our daily notes. He doesn't need Tylenol today. He doesn't seem to be in pain. That's what we got so far. Hey, bud. So, the medical team has me take him off of his continuous feeds twice a day for 2-hour blocks. And this is so he can understand the feeling of hunger. He's wireless for now. Woohoo! This is a great time that I can like hold him in a carrier, a baby carrier, or a wrap. And I don't get to do this any other time of day. Is that our brother? yeah. But after 2 hours, he gets a bottle. And we hook him back up to that. And that's what we do. He'll be off tube feeds from 9 to 11 a.m. And to know about these pajamas. Super great. Button up. Great for the hospital, great for here because you can take his little foot out and wrap the sensor around and monitor him. And the little fold over hands were so good. This is like crucial because no fingers equals no pulling out the tube, which is not fun to stick back in there. So the little fold over hands help us with that. We'll put him in his mama room. I'll get dressed. I'll take the boys to school. Hopefully he'll be happy there while we're gone. Because Brett is home today working. So now we're off to school. I just have these two. The rest of the kids are still asleep at home or just watching Sesame Street.
Yeah, very modest.
Well,
Today is going to be a very surprising day.
Yeah, what's awesome about school today?
It's very gangster day today. Pajama day.
It is Spirit Day, Pajama Day. It is February with no snow on the ground. My kind of February.
Can't wait till April. Oh, wait, Mom.
Love you.
Yes. Bye, Mom.
Bye. And now I get 10 minutes alone. And that's about all I get today. 10 minutes to myself. Who do we have here? Who is awake? Cool fish. Oh, we moved it. We're not supposed to move it. Thank you. Okay, let's get up and go upstairs. Woohoo! Okay. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich for breakfast. Okay, Google. Add bread to the shopping list.
Okay, I've added bread to your shopping list.
Sweet. So he's been off since 9. It's almost been 2 hours. So it's time to make his bottle and to prepare the rest of his milk for his continuous feeds. This is how much he gets per bottle. The goal is to give him 3 to 4 bottles this size per day. He had a swallow study done before he left the hospital to see if there's any aspiration going on. Owen was making the speech therapist a little bit worried with just regular breast milk consistency, you know, like a thin liquid. So he didn't do awesome on that, but they will thicken it and see, I don't know, there's like all these different classifications for thickness. So you have like nectar thick, honey thick, pudding thick. It's weird. But with nectar thick, he did great. So every bottle he has, we use this. This little jar is $26 for every jar. And insurance doesn't cover it, so that's awesome. But we just put a little bit of that in to warmed up milk. We shake up the bottle, let it sit for 5 minutes, and he is able to eat it just fine. I barely put the gel mix in that. So while that's going, we have our other bottle for his continuous feeds warming up. And I think I hear him. Hey, buds. So you're hungry, huh? I bet you are. So we're back. We finished a whole 1 ounce bottle. Woo! So we record that. 30 mLs in the first bottle. Now we need to hook them back up to continuous feeds, and we need to change out the bag first. The bag's kind of cool. This is the pump. This is how it goes through the system, and it just unhooks right here. It's just all part of the bag. The bag is disposable. We'll throw this away. This is a new bag that I just took out of the package. Hang that up on his little IV pole. Hang this up so this stretches over this part. And then just push it down. Okay. Turn it on. And to prime, you hold this button down. It takes a while to get through the system. Now it's primed. Now we hook it up to him the same way we did with our medications. We just hook it up to the port. His NG tube has 2 ports, so one can be for medication, one can be for feeding. We got him hooked up. Press run. And now he's back on continuous feeds. So if we leave the room with him, we have to carry the IV pole around. Luckily it's very light, but not super convenient trying to walk through hallways or around other children. But it's okay. It's just part of our normal, right? Now we're just chilling. It is, I don't know what time it is, 11 something. Another component to my day is using the Champ app. And this tablet was provided to me by the hospital. And it's specifically for single ventricle babies. It is for Interstage, which is the time period between the first surgery, called the Norwood, and the second surgery, called the Glen. So what we do is we use this app, and I input everything, you know, that's on my board, my command center, put it into this app. It records it. It goes directly to the nurses at Primary Children's, and they can see it in real time. And sometimes, you know, if I have notes on there, or the parameters are a little off, like if his vital signs are too high or too low, they'll give me a call and they'll, you know, ask me how he's doing or ask me about how he's acting and just check in on him to make sure that he's well. And if he's not, they can, you know, help me decide what to do. This is hard to do one-handed. Okay, so for this morning, he had an oxygen sat of 86 and a heart rate of 156. And then that is added to his daily summary. The nurses can see that now. If there's any concerns, they can, you know, contact me about it. Are you still hungry? Or do you want a binky? Okay, it's noon. Time to pump again. I'm trying to get him to sleep. I'm done pumping. It's time to take his oxygen and his heart rate again. 81 and 130. I can record that in the Champ app and they will know. 10 ounces into the freezer. We're working on a terrarium. We had some wheatgrass and chia seeds growing. And then our littlest sister, what happened?
She put it out, and then
the grass on
died.
the plants went away.
Hopefully there is a few more seeds that we have
more
here.
seeds.
These are yours.
Pick where you want to put all your seeds.
I'm gonna get a lot more. I am putting all my seeds in. I have to water them every day, actually. I have to spray them every day with this.
Okay, so I'm on my way to pick up the boys. I had a 2:30 appointment with the Social Security office to have an interview for eligibility for SSI, which is government benefits for Eoin because of his heart condition. They were supposed to call me and they didn't. So I called our city's Social Security office. I was on hold for 15 minutes. I got to talk to somebody. She informed me that the person who was supposed to be interviewing me was talking with somebody else during our appointment time. We had to reschedule for a different day, and that's really fun because you know how it is with government efficiency. It's awesome, right? So add that to my to-do list for a different day. What the heck? Person who doesn't know how to park is parking in 3 spots. I love Utah drivers. So you guys didn't eat your lunch because I smell that you're eating it right now, huh?
Yeah, we didn't.
Well, maybe you won't be hungry for dinner then. We're having a giant pot pie tonight. I don't know if you'll be hungry for that.
Why did you do that to me? I love Popeye.
Owen's food is done, so we're gonna let him be off. And we'll give him some bottles in the meantime. And also in the meantime, I get to pumpkin. Yay. We're warming up his second bottle of the day.
Too much.
I'll feed that to him and then I'll put him back on his continuous pump.
Yeah, Mountain Dew
Also
is bad
have
for you. Like everything
Dinner
else
in the
is-
oven. Thanks to Costco chicken pot pie. Just finished pumping again. Owen had his second bottle of the day. A little catnap for him. I am going to the store because we're totally out of diapers. Got our diapers. We're going to do a diaper change, check his vitals, and give him his nighttime medicine. And then try another bottle. Pumped again, and we are out of this milk mixture, so we have to make a new one. We also need to use a new liquids bottle because it's good for only 5 days. We get a new fresh one.